Greetings, brothers and sisters. Happy to be here. Very happy to be here with you. And we're looking forward to a good time to explain this next saga. Explain clearly the things that happened to Dr. Muhammad. So I'm very excited. Very excited to be here with you to talk about it. We've had a very busy time. I want to briefly go over last night. It was a very interesting show. We stayed the distance last night. The distance was stayed. And had to do a little reverse psychology on that show to be able to get the truth out. If not, we wouldn't have got it out. And the damage that they tried to do, they still didn't do anything. So that was no real damage caused. What they intended to do, they failed at. Literally failed at what they intended to do. And that was to create mischief so that I wouldn't come back on the show. And brothers and sisters, you know anything about me, always up for a decent fight. But the thing of it is that a lot of people have trouble dealing with the truth. And when you speak it, especially speak what I'm speaking today, a lot of people think about their lives. They think about their immediate life. And they get in fear of the individuals taking our lives. They get in fear of it. So my point in being here is to encourage brothers and sisters that to defend yourself. It's my entire purpose for being here. Encourage brothers and sisters to defend yourself. You have to. And to the average woman, that may seem insane. It may seem insane to the average man or woman, but you have to defend yourself. You don't have a choice. Because of what's happening to you in America, you don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. No one has a choice. We've got to organize ourselves across the country, brothers and sisters, before things are so out of control that we can't even get things in control in our communities to defend it. And if we don't defend ourselves, nobody else will. Nobody's going to defend you. Jesus is not coming out of the sky to defend you. He's giving you a fight or flight syndrome. He's giving it to you. I choose to stand and fight for what I believe, to organize my community, to be safe, so that we're protected from vagrants. So we can organize ignorant brothers and sisters and get them on board too, to protect themselves. And two, people who are fearful. To those who fear the white man, this seems like insanity. To those who fear the white man. So we have to discuss that. Now, I want you to understand this is something that I'll explain in the most respectful way that I can, because I think it's important. I think this is very important to explain it this way. That there are among us agents. That's true. There are agents among us. You can't get around it. I've been talking about the same thing for years. And we need soldiers to defend themselves. All I'm asking for is people to defend themselves. I'm asking you to trust yourself enough to defend yourself. That's all. When we have things happening across the country, it's impossible to try to make it everywhere. You'll never be able to do that. You'll never be able to do that. So I ask brothers and sisters to prepare themselves to get ready for the onslaught that's coming to face us. And realize that we have brothers and sisters who may have made mistakes in their life. but they've had criminal past. Uh, Many of them have made tragic mistakes, violating children, raping children, and otherwise. And they may feel, and I'm saying this because I want to encourage them today, that their backs are against the wall, and they feel they can never get over that, and they want to take a different path other than the righteous path, to clean themselves up and to turn from the wickedness, And if you clean yourself up and turn from the wickedness, you'll be able to withstand the wiles of the devil. A lot of people's past being used against them and forcing them in a corner where they have to do certain things, brothers and sisters. They don't have a choice. Greetings, brothers and sisters. Greetings, Brother Shaka. Greetings. I like that, Brother Shaka. Main thing is, are you willing to struggle and unite for the benefit of the people? That's the truth. Because we have individuals whose backs are against the wall, who made mistakes in the past. Understand this. And they're being forced to do something. And the pressure is on. We're going to talk about that tonight because we have to. We have to. And I'm not going to run anyone down tonight, but I am going to use this as an explanation or as an example so that others will not make the same mistakes. Some people don't have a conscience, brother and sister, on what's right and wrong. They will attack anything. I mean, it's in their nature. They are animalistic. And hiding. Literally hiding in religion, hiding in socialism, hiding in integration, hiding in fascism, hiding in homosexuality, hiding in lesbianism. And we all have our paths. I'm not here to judge anyone's path, brothers and sisters. I would never do that. I will never judge anyone's path because I think we all have our path. We all have things that we're going to deal with, things that we are dealing with. So I will never judge that. But I can judge a man on how he's responding to others, how he treats other people. I have to respond to that. The show last night, in the show, you find that, again, Brother Damon, I believe he's a good brother. He came with what he had to say. When we got beyond the shenanigans that Tahaka was bringing up, then he came forth. Now, I found some information on both of the brothers, and I understand why they're standing beside one another, because both of them have some troubled past. I'll just put it that way. Brother Tahaka more so than Brother Damon. Brother Tahaka has a very troubled past, and this system that we're in, that Dr. Khalid talked about, this system that we're in, we have to do something about it, but we can't do anything about the system until we do something about the man that created the system. Peace be unto you, brother. Peace be unto you. Always stand strong for what you believe. Oh, certainly, brother. Thank you very much. Greetings, Brother Bruce. And we don't run a gangster show. We don't run a street show. And we reform individuals from these areas. We reform criminals, ex-felons. We reform drug dealers, drug sellers, drug addicts, drunks. We reform people because we want the best for their life. That's what this is about. But I want you to know that the federal government has an agenda. As far as black people are concerned, they have an agenda, and they have agents hiding among us in plain sight. Brothers and sisters, we went over this before. And that's something that I want to explain. The first thing that an agent does is they will cloud the waters with so much dirt, with so much chemical, with so much interference, until the water is not good for drinking. Understand, the water is life. That's life. They will kick up so much ruckus. They will put so much difficulty in front of you until you are confused. You can't see which way to go. And this is very, very important, brothers and sisters, what I'm about to tell you. And I had the brother talk to me. I text him every day, or we'll call and talk. He wanted me on this show again. Because I was honest with him about the information that I found. I would never use it against him, especially not on his show. But I'm amongst family and friends today on our show, and I want to say it. I certainly want to say it. And I invited him to the show to be able to tell his story. He wouldn't come. I was strong enough and bold enough to go on his show, right? But he wouldn't come here. He wouldn't come on this show. And I'll tell you why. And then we're going to get on to what we're talking about, because this is important. This right here is very important. It has shown me one thing, that as revolutionaries, we better come together. We better come to the table, and we better air out our differences, because the devil has us divided. He has us divided. And divided, we'll fall. We'll fall, brothers and sisters. We have very little strength, but united, we have a lot of strength. And don't forget to thumbs up, like, and subscribe, brothers and sisters. Please think about us in your Cash App. The material that we have is good material, so you can learn what we're saying and be able to have it. And we're able to transfer it by email now. We have PDFs, so we can get that book to you within seconds. We can get the book to you into seconds. Any book that you want on this support site that is pinned at the top of the page. And again, so you can have that information. I want everyone to be studied and read, so you can have it, and we have a good book selection. But I want to say this. I want to explain this right quick, and then we're going to get on to our show. Agents are hiding among us in plain sight, and everything has to be questioned. Even me. I respect a person that will question me, but at the same time be transparent, because I think that I owe you that. The things that you're not able to pull up, the things that you're not able to answer, I owe you that. And I've been very transparent. And the information is out there. The information is certainly out there. And the network, Black Nationalist Network, who helped me, was able to put that information out there. Brother Taharka and his team behind him, there's an unseen team, are full of shenanigans, but the point of it is to disperse any kind of agreement or unity that can be made between individuals. That's the purpose, is to disperse us. But he's failing in that, because we're learning how to come together now. So he's failing in that. He's failing. And there, brothers, I hadn't talked to in some time, because I do have questions. I'm not going to stop my show. I'm not going to stop speaking about it. Speaking about the questions that I have, I will not stop any of this this analysis, research, or investigation. I won't stop that, because I think that you should know. And when you know it, then we'll be able to come together. We'll be able to put everything on the table and air it out, and agree to disagree, because right now we got war in front of us. Don't forget to thumbs up, like, and subscribe, brothers and sisters, please. And so let's discuss this very quickly. We're not going to take too much time on Taharka Bey. I'm certainly not going to dedicate our entire show to him. I'm not even going to post his page up, but I will talk about it as often as possible. This brother has a long criminal history from the 90s, the 1990s, all the way up till about 6 years ago. almost 6 years ago. So that's a very long history from the 1990s all the way up to, what is it, about 2017, 2018. He's a career criminal, all kind of scams and all of that, all kinds. And I have this. I was able to get this knowledge. A brother did great research. A brother was able to do great research. So I can safely say now that he's an agent because I have the information and I know who he's working for. I can safely say that. Other people make those claims. I never make the claim until I know for a fact. I send him the information of what they had given me on him. Some of his own people on his own show sent it. Several of them sent it, but I didn't trust their information. We had a brother to verify it who's a journalist, and he's a good brother, and he's non-compromised. He's not compromised. He's a good journalist, this brother. And this brother brought the information verified. This is verified information. And this history that he has, this criminal history was one thing. The drugs and scams and all of that. I'm talking about same history all the way up to about 6 years ago. The other thing is he's a known pedophile. He's registered on the sex offenders list. He's registered. And when you have that kind of background, it can force the authorities or force you to be under the power of the authorities. You'll never get from under it. First of all, you'll never get from under it in our community. They expunged some of it, but they couldn't do all of it. And then they financed the brother, the CIA and FBI financed him to attack black revolutionaries. And I think it's a lesson for us. So his show is sponsored by them. He gets money. If you notice on the show, I asked him, and I even said it before you on the show. I said, brother, I have all kinds of files on you and the brother. Brother Damon has a terrible history too. A very troubled history. But Taharka has a very horrible history, and there was no sign of rehabilitation. He is literally a career criminal. And he was forced to, how do I put it? They forced him into a position to do what he's doing. He was forced in a position to do what he's doing. And so that's his job. That's his job. He's going to do it. And I post my stuff on the site. I post all my stuff on my site. I don't have any personal stuff on site, any of his personal stuff, but I post his shows. Any shows that he has with me about me, I post it on the site because I think it should be said. I don't take the show seriously. I think it should be said. But that is something that I wanted to put out because it is dangerous. What he's doing is dangerous, and not only that, but he's in a population that's dangerous. And it's something that he blows off. This is not something that you can blow off. This is not something you can blow off. And brother, greetings, brother Larry. No, I'm not saying what I think, brother. I got accurate information on this. Not what I think. It's not what I think. I have accurate information. And I told him yesterday or last night, I told him that I have packages and file, brother. But I'm not going to display that. I'm not going to push it out. But I am going to explain it. I think a lot of our people are being pushed in the corner. If you have a troubled past, brothers and sisters, you don't have to be pushed in the corner to do something that will ultimately destroy you. You don't have to be pushed in the corner for that. You don't have to be pushed in the corner for that. You can change your life. You can change your life. And that's the whole purpose, is to make the change. Not to bow down to the pressures that's upon you, but to make the change. And that's what I want to put out. You don't have to make a bad decision because you made mistakes in your life. You can change your life. You can change your situation. These things can be done without you trying to destroy other people or destroy the movement. This is serious, and there are people getting killed. Our black people are getting killed, and we have someone that is further dividing the community. This is a serious issue, a very serious issue. And I think personally, if we'll, if we'll stand together as black people, we can overcome any obstacle that's thrown before us. We can. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that. I'm going to read the comments. I'm going to say that. I've said all that I'm going to say about that. That's the only thing I'm going to say about that. So, credibility, the kind that he's looking for. You see, the kind that he's looking for, his own request, he can't even meet that request. So he has to lie and manipulate other individuals and mislead people while you're doing it. And mislead people when the property that he has, the houses and all of that stuff is from a government contract, and these individuals are funding him and also funding his show. This is a fact. So I want to encourage our people to continue to move. We got to continue to move forward. We've got to continue to encourage one another. We've got to continue to organize, because the people in our community are getting killed. It's the same thing I said to him. Only a person. Here we are getting killed, and I want you to really take this on. We're getting killed, and you got an individual, right? One of us just standing before us and ridiculing you for defending yourself when your enemy is killing you. That's what's going on. We are being ridiculed for defending ourselves. Being ridiculed for telling our people to organize to defend yourself, to get your rights to bear arms, to exercise your rights to bear arms, so you can defend yourself. So you can defend yourself, brothers and sisters. That's your constitutional right. I will be a fool to tell you not to do it. I will be a fool to not guide you into doing it. That would make me insane to do that. So let's read the comments. Brother Larry said, you go again saying blank, and then when they put you up against what you done, said you really stand up for it, brother. Brother Larry says, greetings, brother Crack Kills. He says, you going big, brother. Just be careful with Bay. Crack Hill said, that's Asian's tactic. Brother Larry says, look, when you're debating, bro, you got to be real quick. Like, for instance, here is one fact. Khalil Muhammad had a gun when he was walking around ushering in Farrakhan. That's true. And I did mention that very quickly. I did mention that one of the comments came out that Dr. Khalid never carried a gun. I told him, I said, he carried a gun in the Bible when he was giving Farrakhan security. And that's true. He was giving Farrakhan security. He did carry a gun. But the important part of the show was blighted because it was more of Taharka. And I think that's the whole key to it. Is he's paid to do what he's doing. He's paid to do what he's doing. And hey man, when is the agent man? You don't know where the agent ain't at. Ain't none of you brothers that good to figure out who's an agent. I respect that, brother. But we have black journalists that have been on the scene a long time that have done great research, and it's their job. Research is part of their job. They were trying to set you up to state your plans. Glad you didn't fall for the okie doke, and that's true. And that's what I told them. I said, I never tell you what I do on this show. I told them that I never do that. You can never get me to do that. You can never get me to do that. So, but let's be clear. Taharka Bey is not out there fighting for anybody. He's literally trying to build himself up, and he's paid to do so. And we have to be cognizant about this. This brother, and I'm not being petty, brother. Brother Larry said, y'all being petty. Both of you brothers are being very petty. No. And I think it's important that we understand that that's different if you're making something up opposed to when you have something that is real. I'm not being petty. We're at war. I was at war with them verbally and psychologically yesterday. This was war. And these individuals that you are fighting, to tell you not to defend yourself is a serious issue. This is very serious. It's not something that we can just look past, because there are people that still believe that we don't need to defend ourselves, that Jesus is going to come down from the sky, or, our situations are going to change drastically in a twinkling of an eye. Brothers and sisters, that's not going to happen. No white Jesus is coming to save us. White Jesus not coming to save you, not coming to save me. And I don't even believe in the white Jesus. But I'm just saying, for those that do, and I'm not saying anyone does, but I'm just saying that no one's coming to save us. No one's coming to help us. This is another lie given by the white man, just like Santa Claus, right? You hear about him so often that you believe that he's real. You believe that he has a house in the North Pole, right? There have been people to even dress up like Santa to keep the lie going. That's all I'm saying. We know the brother is an agent. I have that information. I know that he's being paid. I have that information. I have a black journalist that did great information, that even got more information than I have. And that was I didn't ask for the information. The information was sent to me by his own people. So I didn't ask for it. It was sent to me, and they themselves said that, told me about these things. And I'm putting it out to you. I didn't search for it. I didn't ask for it, and I didn't put it out on this show, because I'm not like that. I'm not like that. I'm not dirty. But I'm telling you something now because I understand the scope of it, and it's too often do we leave information out, trying to take the high road. The high road is to try to make peace and to try to explain it, or to try to get it, have an intelligent conversation. You will never do that with someone. You can never make peace with somebody who's carrying a gun. If somebody's going to blow your head off, right, or put a hole in your body, you'll never make peace with them. You can't do it. There's no way to do it. You will never make peace with these people. I'm telling you. So he wanted me to come on the show again. I said, brother, I'm not going to come on your show. There were people telling me then that they were leaving, and they said because he's getting foolish, he's ignorant, he's reckless, and besides, when they found out that he was a pedophile, they found out that Taharka Bey. Now it's different if he made a mistake and he wasn't trying to rip other people down, and he's trying to help somebody, because that's called rehabilitation. That's changing your life. But this brother is out there with a smoking gun against anybody who's trying to stand up against black people. Yeah, you have some agents out there. There's some things that happen that I don't understand in the death of Dr. Khaled. We're going to talk about it tonight. Okay? And so I want you to understand that Taharka is a career criminal, and he's a known pedophile. And this man has had a child. He has even had a child when he has a long history of pedophilia. I'm not saying this. This is what his people sent to me. This is what they sent to me. So that's dangerous in itself. And come to find out that the Mauricelm temple that he's over has a lot of individuals like that are guilty of that have been convicted of the same thing in the Mauricelm temple that he's over. I'm not saying all the others are like that, but that information I received from his people, from the people on his show. from the people on his show. There's no way that I can know it. And I told him what they gave me. He said, I don't care. We can talk about it. He said, I like to tell my story. I said, well, come on my show and tell your story. You can come on. And he said this to me on the phone. He said this to me on the phone. He said he have a life change. And I have it right here. When he texts me, I have it right here on the text for Sister D. She said it wasn't proven. You know, I'm not going to stoop to his level, but I have it right here on the text. She said it wasn't proven, but it was. But here's the thing. I said that to say this, that we have to still be diligent and keep on track and not get off track and do what we have to do. And you're right, brother. With all due respect, you're right. I'm not going to stoop to his level. And I didn't. I had that information. And I didn't stoop to his level. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Black Knight says, show the text. He said, show the text. I won't be tempted to do it. I won't do it. But however, you can look him up and you can get that information for yourself. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. You can research it and get the information on your own. You can research and get the information on your own. And it's just research his name. Toronto Antonio Johnson. Toronto Antonio Johnson. Peace, brother R.A. Facts. Toronto Antonio Johnson. And you look that up, you research it, you'll be able to find that information. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You know, but it's a fact. So, but I decided I'm not going to dedicate a show to talk about that. But I did tell the brother that his own people are putting out this information. They're giving it. I mean, literally, he's on the show and they're giving the information out. They're literally giving it out. Just shooting it. Came on here, you know, act like they was formed, some of his main guys, and was shooting the same information. That's just to tell you what's going on. That's just to tell you. But I said, I'm not going to use that on that show, brother. I don't have time for that. But I did want to explain to you all what was going on. The brother talks to me every night. He says, or rather, will text me. I'll text him. I text him back. And it's not a bunch of fussing or anything like that. But I tell him, I said, brother, I said, you could do a lot better. God has blessed you with a show where you can do something good, great for black people. Where you can. He said, brother, I seek the truth. I said, brother, well, I said, there was a lot of information that I received, and I talked to him about it, and he didn't deny it. He said, but I've changed. I said, well, he said, I'm going to tell my story. I got a new book coming out. That's what he told me. That's what he said to me. I'm saying it to you. And so I told him, I said, well, I said, you're telling your story, but y'all ripping other people down who may have made some mistakes. You know, but I said, you haven't had any correct information on me, but you continue. Even put up a totally different picture that had been photoshopped and didn't put, after he put up the original picture, he said he didn't have. So it's all manipulation. It's all manipulation, and he's being paid to do it. But you research it, then you find out who behind his network and all of that. It's easy to do, and then you'll find out that the brother is not in error. You'll find out I'm not in error. Brother Moore said we are at war, yeah, but they ain't the war, though, brother. Oh, excuse me. Finish reading that. Brother Larry said we're at war, yeah, but they ain't the war, though, brother. Yeah, I'm from the streets for real. They ain't the war. I understand. Yes, sir. You're right. You're right. And we're getting on our show. Sister James said it wasn't proven. It was proven. Sister, the record is out there. He admits it. Tahaka admits that. With all due respect, brother, you need to not stoop to his level. I respect that, brother Crack Kills. And we're going to get on with the show after this. Black Knight says, show the text. I'm going to respect my group and continue on like I've said before. Research it and you'll find it. But I'm not going to show the text. I will not do that. R.A. Facts, greetings. Sister James said, y'all need to make peace. I'm not at odds with Brother Tahaka. I talked to him. I would text him. I said, brother, you're on a reckless course. But I'm not at odds with him, sister. He makes himself at odds with everyone else. I'm not at odds with him. If you go on my Facebook page, I'll post the stuff on my page. I don't take his show seriously, but I have to be concerned about other individuals. You know, I have to be concerned about them. But I post his stuff on my page. Whatever he has about me, I post it right on my page, right here from YouTube. I post it because I don't take the show seriously at all. Brother Crack Hill says Sonetta brought that out already. Oh, well, that's news. I didn't know that. His name is Toronto Antonio Johnson. I already facts and can verify that. We got Crack Hill says absolutely. Black Knight said I have researched him and what you're alleging isn't true. Now Taharka admits this, and Black Knight said it isn't true, guys. He has been exposing fraud. Now Taharka admits it. You can go online, research it, and find out that it's true. Journalists, black journalists, I didn't ask them for it. They gave it to me. Came up with the same information. Yet there are those that still believe that the brother is earnest, and he's not. And he's not. You got Go-Go Junkie. Wow, what a name. Greetings, Go-Go Junkie. You've been exposed. Brother Crack Hill. We all fall short. We are like filthy rags. That's true. I agree. And that's why I'm telling the brother, don't attack those individuals that are trying to do good. But if somebody needs exposure, then they should be. They should be. But I'm gonna get on because I already know that this is a distraction. They're gonna distract from the show. And we got a good show going on today. And I want to get on this show. Our show going on for today. So brothers and sisters, let's talk about it. We're talking about the death of Dr. Khaled. And when we talk about Dr. Khaled, we can't limit him. He was such an amazing thinker. When I think of Dr. Khaled Abdul Muhammad, the first person to come to my mind is Shaka Zulu. He often talked about Shaka Zulu. He's an amazing thinker. The brother could just spit stuff off, man, and I'm talking about make sense. I ain't talking about just talking all upside the wall, but he could spit stuff off and make sense. The brother could literally make sense. And so when we see this bold black captain, brother was bold. He couldn't be stopped. He what can I say? Had the attention, the power to influence the people, to educate them, and all of that. He met. We're gonna talk about this tomorrow, but he met Reverend Albert B. Cleage. Now, when you research Albert B. Cleage, this is the same friend that Minister Malcolm had, brothers and sisters. He was a powerful brother. Same friend that Minister Malcolm had, who was the founder of the Shrine of the Black Madonna. In Atlanta, they have one Ralph David Abernathy Avenue. They have Shrine of the Black Madonna. It's in the black section of town, the black section of the town, the Strip. He had one in Detroit, Shrine of the Black Madonna in Detroit, founded there, and Mr. Malcolm was speaking back and forth in circles with him. It's Cleage who is working to patch the deal. Malcolm is going back to the Nation of Islam. He had already talked to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and there was going to be a massive amount of black Christian nationalists from Cleage and black civil rights leaders and black human rights leaders that were going to come inside of the nation. And why am I saying that? I'm saying that because we have this same brother that warns Dr. Khaled about Farrakhan. Now, at the same time, Malcolm had been warned by Albert B. Cleage. And this is a brother, he's a black Christian nationalist now. Fierce brother. Was all about separation, all about do for self, all about build your own business and all of that. And I say that because that way the Christian will know, the black Christian will know, you don't have to be a Nation of Islam just to have this type of thinking. You've had many black Christian nationalists. You've had many of them. So I want you to know that we, at the end of the day, are beyond any religion. We're black nationalists in Pan-Africanism or in a Pan-African scope. We're black nationalists. And that has to be noted, that we're black nationalists. And so it's important for us to know that if we, as black people, if we come together and work together, if we are able to reconcile one another, if we're able to put our differences aside, then we'll see that we're all fighting the same beast. We're all fighting the same beast. If we can do it without the distraction, we'll find out that we're all fighting the same beast. All fighting the same beast. And the desire that we have, the desire that we should have, is that we come together, focus on the situations at hand, what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a plantation mentality. Not us. The white man has shaped this plantation mentality. He's shaped a psychological plantation mentality that keeps you and I down. And he will put pegs in the place to keep us down. These pegs are in place to keep us down. And what you and I have to do is get involved. We've got to get involved so that our people will know that we're stronger together and that we're better together. We got to know that. So, our question, we have a question today between us. Can we get together? And we can do it, but we have to point out those that are dividing us. We have to. That brings us to our subject today. And I'm handling this very carefully because it's something that we should know. It brings us to our subject today. We talk about Malik, Zulu, Shabazz, and the Jewish friend that he had, Mark Francis Cohen. Now, in this paper that was written, now it was to cause or to provoke division, but it was also psychological warfare. And we have to understand that. It's a psychological warfare because we have to think to ourselves and think strong, brothers and sisters. Think strongly to ourselves how the white man is using us against one another. Use me against you or you against me. That's what he does. That's what he does. And if we don't learn to come together, because you have some brothers that are just not mature enough to get beyond the differences, and you have some that have you have individuals that are not ready to accept that we're at war. You have individuals who believe that it's easier to look away from what's happening than to concentrate on it and be effective, right? But what we have to do is we've got to come together and put our differences aside. And my desire, my prayer is that we can do it, but we will never be able to do it unless we talk about what's going on. Don't forget to thumbs up, like, and subscribe, brothers and sisters. We've got to understand what's going on. We've got to know what God expects of us. And I mean in the sense of nationalism, because we have enough religion. We have enough religion. We need to learn to leave our religion at home, brothers and sisters. We have to leave our religion at home. And once we leave our religion at home and begin to think in the terms of black nationalism and Pan-Africanism, then we're on our way. Now, with that being said, we're thinking in those terms today. You and I are literally thinking in the terms of black nationalism and Pan-Africanism. And the man knows it. That's why he keeps sending distractions our way. That's the reason. If he can get the people to not believe, if he can get the people to not believe, then at that point, then he'll divide us more so and wear us out psychologically so that we're not concerned or we're not willing to be weighed down to look at what's going on around us. And see, he gets a lot of distractions so we won't know what's going on around us. And this is very important for us to know. We need to know what's going on around us. We need to know why it's going on. We need to know who did it, right? Where did it come from? Why was it put out there? For what purpose does it serve? And after that, how do we get rid of it? And how do we look beyond it? How do we put our differences aside and go forward? And the only way for us to do our differences, put our differences aside, is for us to reason together. Right? Isn't that what the scripture said? That we should reason together? Right? That's what God suggests, that we come to reason together. But we'll have to put everything on the table. We'll have to. We'll have to put everything on the table. We'll have to be realistic. But we'll have to agree to disagree, because at this point, we're at war. At this point. And the other stuff we can handle later. The other stuff we'll talk about it better by and by. The other stuff. Right? By and by, when the morning comes, we can talk about it and we'll learn about it better by and by. But right now, we need to understand that we're at war. And there are people who create tactics. And you see the individual, you don't know what's going on. All the smoke is coming up and everything. Everywhere you turn, you see all this trouble. You see problems going on here, problems there, right? Things that's unexplainable. But all you have to do is know that the enemy is working. Just know that the enemy is working. The minute that you know that the enemy is working, then you won't be bothered. That's why I don't erase any comments. I won't erase any comments. I love comments in the section, because you need a little bit of what do you call it? Jerry Springer, right? You need a little bit of Jerry Springer. I mean, and the white folks got Jerry Springer, right? The devil's got him. So we have Taraka Bay. So we're able to move forward, right? And we got some people that keep our comment sections busy. So we're able to move forward, right? Beyond the distraction and talk about the show. This guy, Mark Francis Cohen, this individual wrote a beat in the Washington City paper, D.C. Khaled was there to give a speech, but they carefully arranged the media to the point that they stopped certain media from coming there and had left us with this media person from a beat paper. And this psychologically is warfare, because here Dr. Khaled is a well-known leader, well-known in black nationalism, well-known. And for them to send out a small paper, you have to understand this. For them to send out a small paper would sort of try to minimize what he was doing and his position. And he understood it and applauded. And he really, at many points, didn't care if any media was around. He really didn't. If they were around, that's great. He'd give them a story. If they wasn't, that's fine too. Dr. Khaled was not after the media. He wasn't after the crowds or anything like that. He wasn't. He had grown beyond that. I don't know, had he ever been moved by it, because he was teaching, had always been teaching from the time that I met him. But he says it, that, he's not into big crowds anymore. All that attention. He just wanted to organize and mobilize. So, when this guy came, he let him do the story on Shabazz, and he tells them he's not even going to speak. He asked one of them to speak at this particular function. But this happened, the write-up happened, and we knew what was going on because prior to that, they asked Dr. Khaled if he had found an heir apparent. Understand that. Understand it. Who is your heir apparent? Right? What does that say to you? If you're a leader, and somebody says, who would you like to be your successor? Who would like to be your successor? And that individual didn't answer because he was shocked or looked at you. He could probably figure out, well, you know, what's going on? Am I being, is this a threat? Which it was. Is this a threat, or is somebody trying to get a message to me? And he decided that both were important. Steve Coakley talked about it too. That we knew beyond a doubt. We knew that, you know, the end somehow was near, that this wasn't good. We understood what it meant. I just want to say that we understood exactly that this wasn't good. This wasn't good at all. And at this point, he still hadn't had a visit from Minister Farrakhan. He sees Minister Farrakhan about 3 weeks before he passes. They see him about 3 weeks before he passes. I believe it was somewhere around that following weekend. They were passing each other in the airport. And we talk about that in Freedom Papers. It's on YouTube. It's old. All the old stuff we uploaded. Freedom Papers. Talk about that in Freedom Papers. And we knew then that was it. That was it. But I don't want to go over what happened. We know what happened after that. I've said it many times before. But I do want to say this, that the wedge was created. And there was only one spider behind that web. You see, because it goes all the way up. Dr. Khaled was so powerful that the Nation of Islam couldn't go mainstream under Farrakhan. It couldn't go mainstream with Dr. Khaled in the nation. He had to be out of the Nation of Islam in order for it to go mainstream. He had to be out. Because he wouldn't approve for a lot of stuff that you see today. And he talked to the minister as a Muslim, as a brother. He talked to him as a brother. I remember earlier on when Malik Zulu Shabazz was running for, I believe it was city council, if I make no mistake, in D.C. And Dr. Khaled, you know, they were campaigning for him. And Malik, he really wanted it. He was doing a great job campaigning. And we believed he would have been great for it. We believed he would have been great for it. And, man, Farrakhan didn't give us approval. This is when Dr. Khaled was out. And he sought the minister to give us approval and to help across the nation. You know, so they help in D.C. You know, let's help Malik Zulu Shabazz become the city councilman, one of the city councilmen of D.C. And the minister worked against it. And, you know, Dr. Khaled talked about it in a speech. You know, he talked about it. You know, I mean, he was pretty bothered by it because he believed that all of us were appointed. And he believed that if anybody black is trying to do anything, right? Because we were talking about regime change. When you're talking revolution, you're talking about regime change. So if anybody is trying to change the regime and bring in black nationalist ideals and goals for the black community, you know, Dr. Khaled was for that. He wasn't for no sellout. He said, you know, he wasn't for any sellouts. So, you know, I'm not going to touch on that, but Minister Farrakhan didn't go for it, and this didn't make Dr. Khaled happy at all. He wasn't happy at all. He wasn't happy at all. So, brothers and sisters, it was something. It was amazing. It was amazing. Yes, he did, brother. He did write the judge in college court case. He did do that. Yes, he did. And we can discuss that too, because you're talking about 1987 to 1989. But that's a whole nother issue. That's a whole nother issue there, and there's a lot of stuff in that, and that'll be coming up later. We'll discuss that later. But yes, you're right. You're right about that. Brother Crack Kills also asks, well, Crack Kills said, a house divided against itself can never stand. Black Knight said, you must be qualified to lead. Black Knight said, qualified, to correct himself. Crack Hill says, yes, and Jill went up to him. Jack came down and broke his car. Brother. And so it was a very serious thing to learn, and very difficult thing to learn. These changing tactics, all these tactics today to distort truth, to distort people, to divide black people, and to hire individuals in the black community that are criminals to do it. All of that started during the time of Dr. Cowley. All that time, this revamp. It was nothing new, but they just polished the technique. They polished the technique and reapplied it. And we're going through the very same thing now, brothers and sisters. We're going through the same thing. We're going through the very same thing. And it tells you that when we see those of us that are divided, don't forget to thumbs up, like, and subscribe, brothers and sisters. We appreciate it very much. When we see those that are divided on issues and all of that, when we see it, then we have to wonder. We have to. We don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. We can't help but to wonder, how far have we not come? How far have we not come? And why do I bring these things up? I bring it up because Minister Farrakhan will be dying soon. And here's the thing. We can't count on anybody but ourselves, because we've never had an army. We never had an army. And I hate saying that. I hate saying it. But we look like fools wrestling brothers that's got guns, and crackers that got guns coming in to kill us in our own homes, on our own jobs. We look like fools and idiots, brothers and sisters, to do that. These things will not work. We can't pray our way out of this. We won't be able to read scripture to get out of this. We won't be able to crawl our way out of it. We can't hop our way out of it. We can't cone our way out of it. We can't tiptoe through the tulips. We can't be millie mouth. That ain't gonna help us. We'll have to stand up and be men, fight like men, and defend ourselves like men. That's the only thing that's gonna get us out of this. That's the only thing that can get us out of this, is that we stand up and do as God has ordained us to do, to defend ourselves. We look like fools asking the government to defend us when it's the government that put us in slavery. It's government men. These men were working for the government of England and the government of America, when they caught us and put us in chains and put us in slavery. This is the government. This is the government. You can't blame a cracker from D.C. or a cracker from Georgia or a cracker from Detroit, because these same people are working for the government. The states are merely the web, but you got to go to the center of the web. Right? You got to go to the center of the web and deal with the issue. The white man knows that. You look. Let me tell you something. You look at the January the 6th. January the 6th. When they 2021, when they went on the national capital, the national capital, all these white people, to tell you how much they run this government, from the wealthiest white to the poorest, stinkiest, dirtiest cracker, to show you how they run this government. They went and stormed the Capitol building, broke glass, killed people, and they're still having court cases today. I mean, it's amazing. All of them alive. All of them alive. Now, if you look at us, had we stormed that Capitol, you've had black people spread it over the Capitol, spread it on the White House lawn, lying down the street. They'd have bullet holes all through us. All through us, they have bullet holes all through us. January the 6th. Thank you, brother. And yesterday was essential, because they were fighting not to renew voting rights. They were fighting not to renew the amendments that were made in slavery to make you feel like you were equal, right? And there's still some people under that haze. They believe the Democrats have got them free. They really believe that John F. Kennedy set the path to their freedom. They believe that. They believe it. He was one of the best politicians that this world has ever seen. I hate that he lost his life, because I think the men that killed him were cowards, because he wasn't attacking anyone. See, and I wouldn't believe in attacking anyone, cracker or not. I wouldn't believe in attacking anyone that hasn't attacked me. But the person that did it, that have attacked our people, when I say me, I mean any black person around. The person that did it, the person that attacked us, then we have the right to attack them, and we have the right to deal with them. We have that right. And we got to just get into the mindset. We are some of the most forgiving people in the world, and we are some of the most blind people in the world when it comes to our leaders, when it comes to our own people that are standing up for us. So January the 6th, 2021, as our brother has put down for us in the comments, is a very, very serious date, a very important date. Trump knew about it. All the white nationalists knew about it. All the feds in between the white nationalists knew about it. All of them knew about it. All of them knew about it. And so we have to understand, brother, that to attack Brother Khaled, thinking we would have been farther ahead than we are now. And there are people that are so afraid now, and they're willing to lie against nationalists that are really hardworking. Yeah, there are some questions. Don't get me wrong. There are questions. I have questions, and I have to tell the truth. I have questions, but it's a shame to see individuals that will work to, as they say, keep the peace. I hate when Al Sharpton comes to any organization, because the first thing he go and say is that we have to love. Now here this man, Al Sharpton, he put out time on the streets. He put out time. He's speaking some real stuff. He was at one time, but he came in as an FBI agent. That's common knowledge. All you have to do is research it. The information is out. The entire federal jacket is out. If you pull it up, you'll find it. All you have to do is research it. Not tell people, do your own research. Don't be lazy. We got the internet for a reason. And Dr. Khaled, you have to understand. You have to understand that, and that's right, Brother Crack Kills. Kennedy has his skeletons too. That's true. That's true. One of them is Patrice Lumumba. Kennedy brothers had Patrice Lumumba killed. That's true. You might as well tell the truth. A lot of people don't know it. But these Democrats, black Democrats, really feel that John F. Kennedy put them on the road to freedom. He put them on the road to political blindness. Because no black man in their right mind would jump on the team of the oppressor to strengthen the machinery of oppression. Wouldn't do that. Not in his right mind. He wouldn't do it in his right mind. But they're jumping on the bandwagon, jumping on the team, and there are people that really believe that Tamika Mallory is out there because she wants justice. She don't want justice. They send her around to spit out a few clever words. She get back on the plane and she go to the next place, and they've already given her $500,000 for that particular stop. Black Lives Matter invested. I'm just saying all the distractions. All the distractions. Black Lives Matter invested over $13 billion. They made money. They made money, brothers and sisters. They were paid. And they come to find out that they filed taxes and were getting 31 or so million dollars back. May have been more than that. But it was so much money they were getting back that it caused concern in the community. You can't hide that kind of stuff. And so the point is this, brothers and sisters. The point is that when we begin to open our eyes, because we got to open our eyes. You got to open your eyes. Don't forget to thumbs up, like, and subscribe, brothers and sisters. Hit the bell too, so that you be able to get the story from tomorrow. But when you open your eyes, you have to understand when your eyes are open. You can close your eyes all you want to. Because at the end of the day, this has nothing to do with any kind of distraction. At the end of the day, they're killing us. And you can bring whatever distraction that you want. You can bring it. But at the end of the day, they're killing us. And as long as you got 5 people together, I don't care where you are, what town, what state, what city, and these people are willing to work with iWatch to watch the communities and all of that, then you can start something. You'll start a movement. Jesus started it with 12, right? Right? His real name was Yahushua Aliyah Asa. But we say Jesus, right? We use it against our will. We know it's not his real name. But we use it because this is what black people are familiar with. You know, the black man will remember. You can give him $1 million and be black. A black man could give another black man $1 million. A white man could turn around and give him a penny, and his mind is so tied into the oppression that he'll remember the shininess of that penny and won't remember the $1 million that you put in his hand, $1 million new dollars that you put in his hand. I'm just saying where we are. This is where we are. This is where we are. But we got to change the mindset and change the goal. We got to change it, brothers and sisters. Greeting, Hard Rock True. Greetings, brother. And so, welcome to the show. And so what we have to understand is that when you got individuals that are in the community, attacking the black community, attacking any kind of leadership, not intelligently expecting answers, because there's a difference. When we're discussing things intelligent, we'll get an answer, then we can come on the table to talk. And we owe you that. We owe you that. I invited Brother Tahaka to the show for him to discuss with you what he talked to me about. I invited him to the show. He refused to come. Now, I went on his show, been on his show 5, maybe 6 times. 5 or 6 times, but he refused to come on this show to talk about what is common knowledge among others now, and now common to me. But he refused to do it. So you know, if we can talk about things and lay it out on the table, then we can be at peace. If we can talk about it, be at peace and move forward. Be at peace and move forward. You can dispel whatever. If we're talking serious knowledge, talking serious revolution, talking serious unification, then we can do it. But we'll never do it pointing the fingers. We'll never do it attacking. We can point up instances. We can point out situations, circumstances. We can point those things out so that we can discuss them amongst one another. Our problem is that we spend too much time discussing things with the white man. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care. So we've got to understand what's going on, and we've got to jump in to the movement of saving our community. And I don't care what you build, even if it's a black business, if you don't have security to protect it, brothers and sisters, you're dead. You're a dead black business owner. That's a fact. That's a fact. So, peace, King Kalanji. Peace, brother Hard Rock, if I didn't say it. But that's a fact. We have to understand this. We have to understand it. It's not about the numbers. It's not about the numbers. You know, we have to understand this. That where there are 2 or 3 gathered, this is why Jesus said this. You know, we miss it, brothers and sisters. You know, when a white man go to Sunday school, he go to prepare for war. He even takes his chaplain into war with him. When the black man goes to Sunday school, he'll tell people, don't get guns. I mean, you have to know that you have spiritual leaders or revolutionary leaders. Moses was a leader. Don't let them ever tell you that Israel didn't go to war. They went to war, brothers and sisters. They fought. They went into Canaan. You read in the Old Testament, you'll find out that Moses went into Canaan. As long as he held his arms up, they were winning that battle. Right? When his arms got heavy, Caleb and Joshua held his arms up so that they would see, right, the spiritual sword in one hand and the shield in the other. And they would continue to fight for the sake of Israel. That's a fact. So we're at war. We're at war. And we can't demonize everybody. You know, we can put out our differences on the table, do it, and I feel it's great. But our intentions have to be there. We have to have the right intentions. We have to have the right intentions. Brother Bruce says there's a very contingent analysis concerning Kennedy's involvement in the assassination of Patrice Lumumba. And there is. There is. There is. There is contingent analogy, because not only did they kill Patrice Lumumba, but the plan was to get Minister Malcolm when he was on his trip too. But his trip was how do you put? His initial trip was set on the back burner. His initial trip. But we're at war, brothers and sisters. We're at war. And the crazy part is we're having a battle with one another when we're at war. That's what's crazy. When we should be getting together, setting out our differences. This should have been done yesterday, so that we can work with one another. But anytime you see a black distraction, right, or a white one, all you got to do is know that the white man is behind it, right? And somebody asks you, why did you do that? Then you can answer truthfully, the devil made me do it. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Because the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that it is the devil that put us in slavery. Isn't that right? This is a devilish mind that did that. It wasn't a godly mind. It was a devilish mind that put us in that. And when Master Fard Muhammad came and told us, right, he gave the message to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad took that message to the black man, right? The black man, not the white man, not the brown man, right? Not the yellow man, not the red man, message to the black man. Because there are some black people, right? The original black people from that the red man come from. There's original black people that the yellow man come from. There's original black people that the brown man come from. Isn't that right? There's original black people that he come from. And so these black people, right? These black people that you talk to are the ones that the message was for. It wasn't for the others. It was for the black man. No other man but the black man. The message is self-explanatory. And this is the reason they killed the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. All the way down to Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. That's the reason. Because the message, brother, the message, when you deliver that message, you got to believe. You have to believe in the message in order to deliver it. So the message was important. And I want you to look at this, and I tell you about this all the time. All February deaths. Minister Malcolm X died February 21st, 1965. Most honorable Elijah Muhammad died February 23rd, I believe, 1975. Albert B. Cleage, Reverend Albert B. Cleage, Shrine of the Black Madonna, right? He died February, I believe the 20th, if I make no mistake, 2000. And Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad died February the 18th. February the 18th was the authentic death. 2001. All of these February deaths, right? Which is a dark humor. A dark humor. And yes, they poisoned the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's a fact. That's a fact. And Farrakhan admits this. He admits it. So brothers and sisters, we'd be crazy. We don't have to brandish a weapon. As a Muslim, I would never take a weapon in the temple. But I will tell you this. Dr. Khalid had a Bible, and he had a weapon in his Bible. I admitted that on the show last night. Dr. Khalid had a Bible and had a weapon in the Bible when he was protecting the minister. And the minister knew it. But I tell you, there are people now saying, brother, should make statements like that because the minister, he wouldn't allow that. Brother, whether you believe it or not, Dr. Khalid carried a weapon in his Bible. He carried a weapon. And so we have to be cognizant and intelligent to understand that when the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was speaking and he gave knowledge, he was giving wisdom. And we have to be able to decipher that wisdom the right way. You can't go to a simple-minded person and expect them to think in the mind of an FOI. You can't do it. An FOI is trained to think different than a regular Muslim. He's trained to move different. He's trained to act different. He's trained to do it. The only time that any Muslim, including an FOI, will get really angry and belligerent where he's allowed to is when you start to attack his woman. After that, all bets are off. After that, all bets are off. Because a Muslim gets very angry when you attack his woman. And even if Muslims are feuding, you've never seen a true Muslim attack another Muslim's wife. You'll never see it. You'll never see it. And there's a reason for that, because the statutes and rules. But you have to understand that these distractions, though, have divided us. We saw it in the beginning, right? The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when he received the message in the 1930s, when he received a message from Master Farad Muhammad, it was actually 1934, 35, he received this message. At first, Sister Clara heard it. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's wife heard it at the meeting, the building that was Temple Number 1 that's in Detroit. It's in Detroit now. I believe it's called the Young Center. It's in Detroit. When the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was invited by his wife to hear Master Farad Muhammad, and his message he has to the black man, and say that the black man is the original Asiatic people, right? That they are the cream of the earth, the true, the aboriginal people. When he hears this, he had never heard a man to speak like he had spoken. He never heard it. Never heard it. And from that moment on, Master Farad Muhammad, who for all intentions had a white mother, was calling the white man the devil. I want you to try that on for size, because if you got someone who has the white blood in them, right, is also black too, that will call the white man the devil, you'll have to take them seriously. I mean, they will know better than anybody. They will know better than anybody. They will know better than anybody. So, my point is this. That's right, Brother Kalanji. My point is this. Is that there's no way that somebody from that characteristic is going to identify something like that unless they're out of their minds. They try to make him seem crazy, He wouldn't do that. Then they said he was unstable. That's what they'll do. You have to understand the tactics of the government. They put that brother through hell. They put Master Fard Muhammad through hell, putting him in prison, trying to get him stuck in mental health wards, saying he was unstable. They said he had all of these identities, all this stuff going on. You ready, sister? And so we have to understand that anytime black people get together, right? Anytime black people get together, we have to understand that the enemy is going to fight you on it. He's going to fight you on it. Now, I want to say this. Very quickly. That he had a white mother. His father was lighted to the last degree, the very last degree. There's no doubt in that. But his mother was certainly white, and that's in the record. That's in the record. His father, they say, was mulatto, but he was to the lightest degree. And there have been many black people that passed for white that have fought in the revolution. But his mother most certainly was white. And I don't know what he went through. I don't know what he went through as a child, but Master Fard Muhammad told us that the white man is indeed the devil. Is indeed the devil. They didn't have his birth. They didn't even know what his birth date was. Didn't even know it. What his birthday was. They gave him aliases. They gave him aliases. So, and brother Kalanji says, Alfonso, I never heard that one. His white wife said was white. I will hear that, sir, and certainly we'll be definitely discussing this as well. But if anybody is a good judge of a situation, I'm sure he would be. I'm sure he would be. And we see it every day. We see it every day. Every day. Every day we see it. And so, brother original man said, Morris World TV is about to start. Gotta go see you when I see you. Right? In his Martin voice. So he's going on. Bless you, brother. Bless you. So we see it every day. And these distractions is what we gotta be aware of. You know, and don't fear it. Don't fear it. Walk right into it. When you're facing something and they're attacking character, brothers and sisters, the best thing you can do is walk right into it, face it, and stand up like men and women, and stand in righteousness, and you'll see that God will transform you and give you the energy that you need to be able to wage war in that battle. God will do that. God will do that. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid of the white man. You don't have to be afraid of Taharka Bay. Anybody that's going to put your personal business or lies out on you or whatever. You don't have to be afraid. Just stand up in the power of God, brothers and sisters. I guarantee you he has put in you what it takes. He has put in you what it takes to be able to weather that storm. I take the show, even the show tonight. If you go on my Facebook page, every show, every page is put up about me. I put it up. I put it up. And I market that page and let them know, help the revolution. Yeah. I don't have anything to be afraid of. No. Because I'm on the road to do what I know is right. And that is to stand in righteousness and help our people and speak the truth. To organize and mobilize our people to protect their communities. What black man in his right mind or woman will go against that? At the end of the day, brothers and sisters, it's not about how much Taharka Bay like me or like him or any of the other brothers being at odds. At the end of the day, the white man is killing you. Our brother says, Crack Hill says, reflections, projections, deflections. We read that with Brother Kalanji, original man, we read that. Brother Shabaka said, apathy kills. Brother Bruce Karim said, Abdul Allah Muhammad, known in the 60s as John Shabazz, taught on it at number 7 in the 80s. My God, that's the truth, brother. And our brother Crack Hill says he prepared the ones he called, and God does. Because we're trying to build a show that's going to build up the black man to prepare people for what's coming. We will not get by this. We will not get by it. You will never get away from this. You will never. The man is not going to stop killing you. You'll have to do it. It'll make people afraid, brothers and sisters. When you start speaking the truth, it'll make people afraid. Literally make them afraid when you start speaking the truth. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the truth. So it make them afraid. It will literally make them afraid. But we have to speak the truth. Isn't that right? Because the word tells us, right, that the victory is ours. That's what the word says. Mr. Muhammad says it too. He said, no devil can be saved in the book of wisdom. There will be a remnant left so that we'll be able to observe them and see what situation they put us in. And we read the very same thing in the book of Isaiah. So our sister is going to come before us. Our sister is certainly going to come before us. Brother Shabaka said the struggle is for hearts, minds of black people that will lead us to power. That's right, brother. Crack Hill said no change ever came about without bloodshed. That's the truth.
Absolutely.
That's the truth. Crack Hill says ever. And Minister Malcolm said to us, who is our brother. Minister Malcolm also said this. There's no such thing as a bloodless revolution, brothers and sisters. Let our sister come before us, because remember, we can't go inside of these devils' institutions. Talking black nationalism, we need to have our own hospitals, right? Our own birthing centers and all of that. We have training for brothers and sisters that want it. We have trainings to remove gunshot wounds. We have trainings to remove bullet wounds and all of that. You can purchase the book and be able to go through that training too. We give that training to be able to handle gunshot wounds and bullet wounds, because we know that we're entering that time, and so we have trainings on that too. We have an entire manual dedicated to that you can purchase and go through the training on Zoom. The sister has her information, and I'm going to let her come before us, brothers and sisters, to give us what God has given her. Brothers and sisters, if you please.
Greetings of peace, love, and light to all of you watching. Thank you for joining us. It's an honor to be a part of this time in history and this movement in history. Most certainly. I'm not sure how many of you know, but there was a documentary that was just recently released called Aftershock that talks about black maternal health. I am not promoting that because I have not watched it yet, and I'm not sure exactly what direction they took that in, because we've been talking about, at least in the black birth community, we've been talking about black maternal health for some time now. This is not something that's new. But they have finally done a certain documentary on it. I'm actually working on my own documentary. Of course, my direction is going to be more toward free birth, and my documentary is going to be more about free birth that I'm working on right now. But long story short, so everybody is talking about black maternal health right now because this documentary just came out, and it's something that I've been talking about, so I'm going to continue to talk about it. But I did see a video today. So we always have to be careful that people aren't using our issues as a means to fill their pockets, and we have to be careful about doing that ourselves. because it's very unfortunate that we have a lot of people in the Black community that will use Black issues as a means to fill their own pockets, and they're just not about what it takes for us as a people to move forward in power and actually do anything that's going to create any type of real change for us. And we need real change. I don't know about y'all, but I am tired of people sitting around talking, and I'm tired of people pretending to do things, and they're doing things. They're just spinning their wheels doing things that ain't really doing nothing. Who wants to be busy doing nothing? Okay, so when we do things, we want to make sure that we're doing something that's going to have an impact, a real impact for change, absolutely, midwives are very, very important crack kills. But what we have to understand about maternal health right now, especially as it relates to midwives, anybody with a license, any type of license in the medical field, they have certain requirements that they have to meet. And of course, we do have midwives that are, doing things that they should not be doing, and putting their very frankly, putting their freedom at risk, absolutely, because they can go to jail for a lot of things that are necessary for to keep our women safe. Because Black women and Black babies are dying in the hospitals, and have been. I've been talking about it for a long time now, quite a few years, and it's getting worse. So a lot of people are talking about it, but nobody's really doing anything real about it. And more doulas is not the answer. Medicaid for doulas is not the answer, because all that's going to do is make them regulate doulas even more, and that's not going to help us, because you're still working for their system. You understand? So anything that, and believe it or not, what y'all probably don't know is that in a lot of states now, traditional midwifery is pretty much illegal. It is. In some states, you can't even do home births. Home birth is illegal in some states. So it's not as clear cut as a lot of people think it is. It is warfare out here, for real for our people, especially for Black moms and Black babies. I mean, when are we as a people most vulnerable? When a woman's giving birth. If we want to really calculate when we as a people are most vulnerable, it's the moment you come out of the womb. Some may argue and say, well, it's when you're in the womb. Not necessarily, because you still have a whole person protecting you. Your body is still inside somebody else's body. But that moment you come out of the womb is going to be the most vulnerable moment in any individual's life. And unfortunately, that moment has been, matter of fact, has been exploited, taken advantage of. They have been taking our organs. They have been stealing our stem cells, stealing our placentas, and different things of that. Right, because they didn't pay you for that. That is an organ that came out of your body that is attached to your child, that you've agreed to let them cut off and take. And they have not paid you for it, but you might want to look up how much they sell these things for. The stem cells that are in there, and a lot of times they're detaching it from your child's body before your child gets all the nutrients they can get out of it, because they're about to sell those nutrients to somebody else. That just shows you how much they care about you and about that baby's survival. A lot of babies are dying simply because they didn't get those last things that they needed in those basic 5-10 minutes of being born. Absolutely, it's that quick and that simple. And now you'll know why your baby child is having these issues, and that's what it may come down to, really. That's what it may come down to. Those first moments, those first days. And, it's important for us to be competent, to understand what needs to happen in those moments, what needs to happen during pregnancy, what needs to happen during birth. But definitely postpartum, when that baby first is born. How to care for that child, what things to look for, and how to defend and protect that child. Definitely the hospital is not the place for us. And if you don't know that yet, I'm very afraid for you if you still don't understand that. Unless you're somebody that is high risk and you have major health issues where you just cannot give birth at home, you don't need to be in the hospital. There's no reason for it. And, we don't even understand that us even going to the hospital to give birth is a very new thing. Excuse me. It's very new. Go ask your grandmother. Nobody went to the hospital to give birth. That's unheard of. It was just completely unheard of. And if you go back even a little further, nobody even called on a doctor during birth. It was always a midwife. And if you go a little further, you'll learn that it was always a slave, baby. It was always a slave. If it wasn't their slave, they borrowed somebody else's slave. That's how it was. That's the truth, because they didn't know nothing about it. These are our expertise. And like many things, we allow these people to study us, study our ways. We feel exceptional. We go in and teaching them how to do what we do to the best of our ability. And then they take it over and turn it into a business. And now they're exploiting you and using your vulnerabilities and keeping you from learning what they learned from your ancestors. I mean, it's just incredible. But I heard some people talking today about the infant maternal mortality rates. And it's ridiculous to me. They're talking about the rates being so high for moms dying. And the sister had the nerve to ask, what is genetically wrong with us? Yes, the sister asked, what is genetically wrong with us that we're dying at such a high rate compared to other races? I mean, and then went on to talk about how important it is to have a doula. Now, this is the kind of stuff that really makes me upset with us as a people, especially us as black babies. What you said, there are dangers such as breech birth and placenta previa. Breech birth is not, that's a variation of normal crack kills, and we don't understand that. But I guarantee you midwives understand that, and a lot of them that even understand that because of their license in their contract with whatever hospital they work with, they can't deliver a breech baby, but it's not because they don't know how or it can't be done. So, having a breech birth is not actually dangerous. They do it all the time. Matter of fact, you could probably type it into YouTube and see a whole bunch of home births where breech babies were being born. They can be born breech. That's not really a danger. It should be a precaution, perhaps, to pay more attention to make sure the baby head doesn't get stuck too long. You don't take too long to push the baby out. There are some risks, but it's really not a serious danger. Not breech. Placenta previa, if it's full placenta previa, definitely. That's definitely could be dangerous. If it's full placenta previa, I mean, that's an automatic C-section. And, that is what it is. But the chances of somebody even having placenta previa is, it rarely happens. It rarely happens. There's something, these are things that we need to know. These are things that we need to know, because a lot of times we're guided by fear, that's what Satan does, right? That's what Satan does, uses fear and uses ignorance. All right, so that's why I am teaching this free birth class, because we have to understand that we're not dying. We're not dying because there's something wrong with us, especially when we are known for birthing our babies and birthing everybody's babies. That don't make sense, right? Makes absolutely no sense. So we have to be honest with ourselves that these people are killing us, quite literally. Killing us and killing our babies in the hospitals. Absolutely. And that's what's going on. And research has shown it doesn't have anything to do Research has already been done and has shown it has nothing to do with how poor anybody is, has nothing to do with how stressed out anybody is, has nothing to do with anything really, other than the fact that we're black. That's it. We're black, and that makes us a target. And if you don't understand that in 2022, that means that means you walking around with your eyes closed. And we need to talk about your mental health, because you're dealing with some real issues of delusion, okay? And you living in a fantasy world somewhere, because we ain't living in the same world. I don't know what you're looking at, but it ain't real. But anyway, I'm not gonna talk to y'all too long about that, because I know we have some fellas watching, and thank you all for watching, and bear with me while I'm talking about something that you probably feel like you can't relate to. But a lot of our brothers are losing their wives. Yes, losing their wives and losing their children, and don't have an explanation of why at the end of it. I'm talking about good, healthy women. And good, healthy women should not go to the hospital, y'all. Don't risk it. It's not safe. Don't risk it. And when I say don't risk it, I'm not saying just go out there and do something that you don't know what you're doing. No. Educate yourself. If you don't know how to research and study and educate yourself, get this book. At least join my online free birth community, which you can find by going to my nonprofit website, which is www.thebirthguru.org. Don't go right now. Go later after you finish watching this video and liking and subscribing to the channel. Then go to the website, thebirthguru.org. Okay, and you will be able to find there, click on free birth, read about it a little bit so you can understand what it is. You can today was our first class, so that's why I'm a little bit hype about it. I had my first class today of the year. Excuse me. That was a little dry. Had our first class of the year, and so I'm a little bit on that birth kick today. But go to that website and you can join the free birth community on Facebook. There's a discussion group. And you can also register for the class. Excuse me. You can register for the class and you can get the book. Okay, and this is a textbook. This is a textbook. I'm just dehydrated, brother. I need to drink more water. I'm just a little dehydrated. So make sure you do that for yourself and for our people.
Tell them, man, they can take it too.
Definitely, brothers. You can definitely take this class. Absolutely. We definitely need more support from y'all, more love from y'all. Absolutely. Black women need all the love we can get. The more you brothers love on us, the more we're going to excel as a community. Absolutely. So if you all want to take the class so you can be competent and be able to share the information, that's very positive. Definitely, I encourage couples to take the class, especially if you're planning on procreating. Definitely take the class so you can be aware. It's going to be better than any birth class you could take. Absolutely. I have mostly midwives take my class. So, that should tell you what. As of yet, I haven't really had anybody regular take my class yet. I've had a couple doulas. But as far as who's really dedicated to the class, midwives, believe it or not, are crazy about my class. So if I'm teaching midwives, what does that tell you? Take the class. I made the class for y'all. So take the class. Don't be cheap, because guess what? If you can pull $6,000 out of your pocket for a midwife, you can save your $6,000 and spend your $250 and take this class. Absolutely. Because it's going to be worth it. It's going to save your life. It's going to save your child's life. And it's going to equip you to help other women. Okay? So take this class. You can't take the class right now? Get the book. Get the book right now. At least you have something to go by and to go off of. That's written for you. This is written for you. This ain't no basic stuff. This is for you to help you navigate what you need to navigate. That's what the class is for. Because there are things that need to be navigated if you are going to free birth. Because we have a real enemy, and you have to know how. You got to know how to deal with your enemy. And I like to study our enemy. I like to go ahead and predict how they're going to move 10, 15 steps ahead of what move that I'm making right now. You understand? That's how you play chess. This is a game of chess, and we got to stop playing checkers, okay? And tic-tac-toe. We ain't playing tic-tac-toe. We playing chess right now. How much is the book? You can get the PDF for $45. I do have some signed versions. If you want me to sign it, you can get it signed as well. So my most affordable copy is $45. My most expensive one that's signed is, I think, $75. And it is a textbook. This is the first edition, and it is worth the price. It's worth the price. This is going to save somebody life. It has what to do in an emergency in here, and it's written in a way, read between the lines. Read between the lines what to do in case of emergency if you cannot get to the hospital. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? This is for y'all. This is for y'all, because everything is not a hospital emergency, but it is if you don't know what to do. It is if you don't know what to do. There's two types of people in the world. Okay, absolutely. You could definitely get hard copies. It's definitely available. I have paperback. You get the paperback, or you could get the spiral bound. Which I actually put together hand by hand myself. If you want the spiral bound, this is much easier. All I gotta do is send this on to you. But whatever you prefer, I just want to make sure I have a couple options. Because people like different things. So some people don't. They just want the PDF, and that's fine. But definitely make sure you get that. It's very, very important. It's going to be very, very beneficial to you all. And it's written for you. It is definitely written for you. And, you go to the hospital. How much is the hospital charging these days? I mean, what, like $30,000 a baby? I don't know. It's somewhere up there. I mean, birth is big money. Birth is big money. It really is. Because ignorance is big money. Ignorance is so much. It is. It's big money. Okay? So, I ain't saying thousands of dollars for my class. I really could. You got people teaching birth classes. You learn more in my class than you're going to learn in any doula trainer. And I do teach a birth worker extension. You can take both of those classes at the same time. That way you can learn how to navigate being there for somebody who is a free birther. Because it is not as simple as attending a normal birth. And somebody who, you go into a doula training with somebody who doesn't do free births, taking a training from somebody who doesn't even do free births, who's never had a free birth, they're not going to be able to tell you how to navigate a sister in a free birth situation. I don't want y'all going to jail. Hey, I'm advocating for free birth, but hey, I'm letting you know right now that you need to know exactly what to do. And that's not nothing I'm going to be able to just tell you on a video. No, we need to have a 10-day class, okay, where you spend at least an hour with me, and we're talking about things that are very important, how to navigate and how to conduct yourself at a free birth, and how to handle these people who are probably going to be coming for you. Because do you think they're going to take lightly that these women are not going to the hospital? this is big money for them. Are you crazy? No. I'm telling you, when I started doing this, we had an event planned in Asheville, North Carolina. Yes, I did. At the YMI, the cultural center there, which is now unfortunately white owned. You know, it was a black community there, but now the cultural center is white owned. And it's the last thing that is supposedly black, even in that town. Before I get on all of that, anyway, but we had an event planned there. My first March of Flowers planned there. And I mean, I had people coming out. People were there. And I didn't even get to make my own event because somebody cut our brake line. Yes. And thank goodness we actually were going out of town first and coming back for the event. Because had we been in town, we would have been off the cliff because we lived in the mountains. We were in the mountains, right? You ain't finna make it in no. Where we gonna go? If you can't brake, you going off the curb, bro. So all praise is due to Allah that I had a vision about it before it happened, and I was looking for it. I ain't gonna say I was looking forward to it, but I knew what was gonna happen, and I shared it with the brother, and we were able to safely make it to a safe destination. But it was not, of course, not where we wanted to make it to. And a lot of things happened after that to keep me from even getting to that event. So what I'm telling you about, this ain't, don't take it lightly. Okay, don't take it lightly. And I'm not doing this selfishly. I'm being very selfless. I spent a lot of time and effort into this. I spent a lot of time and effort in my classes. My class, it is like taking a college course. It is like taking a college course. We have discussion questions. We have reading to do. We have homework to do. Okay. You got videos to watch. Yes, you got research to do. And we're going to really learn. And I'm going to equip you to be competent. You probably have to take in my class. You should be able to even stand in a hospital and have a real conversation with a nurse or a doctor. And I understand they saying all this foolishness about my husband, but he was a combat medic. He has delivered babies. So even all this information, even all this with my own research, okay, and peer communication, because I do have friends that are midwives. Yes, I do have friends who are midwives, and we actually pretty tight with a couple doctors. And my husband was a combat medic, and he actually delivered babies. Okay, he has delivered babies overseas. And so we have had extensive conversation, okay? And yeah, it was very helpful in, honing anything that may have been off, which is not very much because I'm very much a perfectionist. And I don't talk about nothing that I don't know about. I just don't do it. Most people find me very quiet. I don't talk about anything that I don't know about. If you talk about something I don't know nothing about it, I'd probably be sitting there listening. And that's what wise people do. All right, so I don't want to bore y'all too much on the free birth thing, but I am a little hype on it because we had our first class today, which was great. Had a great class today. And we have to understand that there was a transition where, doctors stole our information and now, stole at least as much as they could. But doctors, they're not equipped to handle natural healing or things that occur naturally that are not emergencies. You go to the hospital or the doctor for an emergency. That's why y'all have so many complaints and problems, because you're going to the doctor for things you should be able to do yourself and once knew how to do yourself. No, James, I am definitely not a licensed medical professional. I am not. No, I am not. I consider myself to be a birth worker. All the things that I do, I am a person, I am a researcher. So I do my own research and I talk to my peers who are naturopathic doctors, my husband, medical doctors, midwives. I talk to these people as my peers. And, it really is only people who don't have degrees that have high respect for degrees. I do have a degree, but it's not in what I'm talking about right now. That's not important. It's only really people who don't have degrees that really hold it in high value. Those of us who do have degrees, you soon realize that you've been duped. You realize very quickly that you have been duped. Very much so. Because you learn way more through experience and personal research than your enemy is ever going to teach you, because your enemy is ever only going to teach you how to be a slave and how to be an employee. Okay, so we ain't going to get nowhere thinking that we need somebody white to ever validate us. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's just not going to happen. My work speaks for me. My work speaks for me. Hey, I wouldn't put it out there. Cause guess what? You don't think these white folks gonna get this book? You don't think these white folks trying to take my class? Cause they are. And I do not discriminate. That's right. I don't. Not on that. I ain't discriminating on that. Cause they already got the information anyway. They just taking a class to see if they can tie me in a loop. And I've already written this in a way, knowing that they're going to read this. Absolutely. I ain't playing no games. I'm playing chess. And I'm trying to save y'all life. I'm trying to save our lives. Because if we as a people don't care enough about ourselves to do what we need to do for ourselves, you can't expect nobody else to do it. You cannot expect anybody else to do it for you. No, you cannot. He said, what kind of experience have you had in the past? I have had doula training, but I'm going to be real honest with you. There's plenty of people who have had doula training. And I have, like I said before, midwives take my class. I've taken many trainings, but I have not been certified. I've always probably getting right to the end of it. I say, okay, well, I'm not going to complete this because... I don't want nobody else to take credit for who I am. Can't nobody take credit for this. Nobody. I can't give nobody credit for this. That's me. And I've delivered all of my children myself. Absolutely. Even while my husband was there on the last birth, which he missed the first two, unfortunately. The first one he missed because he was driving a semi-truck. He couldn't make it back in time. And the second one he missed because I was out of town. And I had all my equipment with me, though, and gave birth in my grandmother's shower. But the third one, we were at home, and he was there. But I caught my own baby. I'm very competent. And I know you all probably are not familiar with free birth, but free birth is a very real thing that is not new. It's not new. It's new to the Black community because people like me are making it more popular. But white women been on this. They been on this. I'm just being real with y'all. They been on it, though. They been on this. They have. Especially poor white women. They've already been on this. Because they can't afford a midwife. They can't afford a midwife. And they can't afford the insurance. So, a lot of them are doing unassisted. Alright, but anyway, but this is urgent for us. This is urgent for us. We need to give birth at home. If you can afford a midwife, great. By all means, absolutely. Absolutely. But many of us cannot. Okay? And one thing you have to know about our midwives, even if they mean well, they have to follow a certain protocol. Unfortunately so. And hey, they got to do what they got to do to feed their family. This is their profession. And we got to respect that. So the best thing for us to do, unless you know you get somebody who's a revolutionary, because I know midwives that you can be given a free birth, and as long as you don't directly say, hey, I'm giving a free birth right now, can you answer this question? As long as you don't do that, you can always pay them for a consultation. You can always just pay for a consultation if you have a question about something. You ain't got to tell them everything to make them liable. And that's how it works. So there are plenty of ways to navigate this thing, to do what's best and what's safe for all of us.
That's right.
For all of us. Now, if I was licensed, brother, I wouldn't be able to write this book. I wouldn't be able to teach this class if I was licensed. That's what we don't understand. I wouldn't be able to tell y'all the truth. I wouldn't be able to, because I'd be done spent how much money getting this license, and now I got all these stipulations that I got to adhere to.
That's right.
I wouldn't be able to tell y'all this stuff. What free birth is, James? Free birth is giving birth without a medical professional present. So that means nobody's there that is a medical professional. So
natural birth.
You be birthing wherever you want. Some free birth is birth outside. I've seen a video where a woman gave birth. She was giving birth in the ocean with the dolphins, honey. So, it just puts it back in your hands as a woman, to birth your way. You want to go down to the River Jordan, it. Hey, it's up to you. If we go back to our culture, what we did, she probably would have put her back to a tree and gave birth by herself. Nobody wouldn't even know she gave birth until the baby was born because it was sacred.
That's right.
Just like sex should be sacred. And we done made too many things that are sacred common.
Public show of attention.
Should be sacred. Birth as well as becoming one with your spouse. Those are things should be sacred. We shouldn't be talking about this stuff all willy-nilly in public. But anyway, moving on. Take the class. If you want to go to that website, you can also learn about the infant and maternal mortality rates, about the black mamas and babies. You can learn exactly what the stats are in your state, so you can know and you can tell people around you, okay? Because you have the information now. It is up to you. You as a leader, everybody listening to me, you as a leader, you are responsible for making sure that everybody around you, under the sound of your voice, has the information and knowledge, that you have. Absolutely. We have to be accountable for one another. We have to be accountable for one another. We have to love one another. Okay? Because we're better what? Together. We're better together. Absolutely. King Nigga said his parents were experts at everything. Absolutely. You definitely can be. I'm probably an expert at too many things myself. Yeah, we don't go to nobody for anything. We don't. But if you're a black revolutionary, you need to, as much as possible, stay out of these people's systems. Stop going to them for help. You shouldn't need to go to them for help. Now, it would be ideal, for us all to have a village mentality so that we can go to one another when we need to, so that people aren't taking advantage of us. But unfortunately, we're not in that place yet. We have to be realistic about that too. Unfortunately, we're not in that place yet. So some things such as this, you need to be competent for yourself. You need to be competent for yourself. This is one of those areas you need to be competent for yourself. You can't. I hate to say it. I'm not trying to buck on my doulas. I know we have some wonderful, wonderful doulas out there, some wonderful, wonderful midwives out there. But look, a lot of these sisters out here don't have a clue. They your doula and they asking in the Facebook chat. They in my group asking. This is what's going on. What do we do? I'm not kidding y'all. So you need to know for yourself. That way, when you do hire a doula or you do hire a midwife, you know what questions to ask. Because even if you know this stuff, you can still get you a doula, still get you a midwife. Absolutely. Who don't want extra support? Who don't want extra support if you can afford it? Who don't? Absolutely. Still get you a doula and midwife, but at least now you know what questions to ask. And you're not just sitting there stupid depending on somebody else for your life and your child's life. No, we don't want to risk our babies. Absolutely not. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that. Please, y'all, support my music. I've been really focused on my music. Go to my YouTube page. Subscribe to my YouTube page. I need to get a partner page so I can create my artist page. So I'll go ahead and snatch back my work from this white girl who's pretending that my work is hers from whatever country she's from. So I can get that back and have a page to put it under. Because unfortunately they got YouTube set up to where you have to be on a certain level even for me to be able to claim my own work, y'all. It's ridiculous how these devils are. But this is their platform, right? We didn't create YouTube. So it is what it is. And if I have to go to a label, then it is what it is. I know I got gifts and skills. I don't want to go that route, but if that's what I have to do, to make sure my work is being shown as mine, then that's what I'm going to do. So I appreciate y'all support and your help. I am on BandLab if y'all musicians watching this. But you can go to my YouTube. My YouTube is Goddess Nanu. After you finish watching this one now, it's Goddess Nanu. And I'll come from my Goddess Nanu page and I'll type something in here at the end so y'all can see my face on there, and just click my face and it should take you to my YouTube page. So you can like and subscribe on my YouTube, okay? That way I can get to where I need to be to go ahead and go to bat with these devils and sue these people and get some money since they don't want to give us our reparations. All right, peace, love, Black power.
Good. All right, brothers and sisters, we sure thank you. Appreciate your patience with us. Not going to hold you any longer. We're going to let you go. But we'll be back tomorrow. Certainly back tomorrow. We thank the sister. She certainly has applied herself. She has much to say. I'm so thankful to Allah for her and for what she's doing, because it's certainly needed. But we're going to let you go now. Thank you very much for entertaining us thus far. And just remember that we can't do it without you. We need your help. And when you are fighting on this side, then at that point, we'll have to depend, whether we want to or not, we have to depend on one another to make it through. But this marks the end of our show. We'll get ready tomorrow to talk about when Dr. Khaled meets Albert Cleage. Should be talking about that tomorrow when Dr. Khaled meets Albert Cleage. And that's going to be very, very important, because Dr. Cleage is he has a long history. This Dr. Cleage, he's the one that helped Minister Malcolm and eventually helped Dr. Khaled, and we know he paid for it with his life. He certainly paid for it with his life. So we're thankful. Thank you very much for the knowledge that we can get one another. Don't forget to please support us. Putting the cash up in here again, wherever it is. And brothers and sisters, if you want a book, it doesn't matter. Look, I'll give you a book. You do your best to do whatever. I'll make sure you get a book if you want a book. I don't want y'all to have a book and just for giving something. That's my way of saying thanks. I don't care what the amount is, but send me information by email to this email, and if you want a book or anything from me that I'm giving, then I'll definitely give you that book, because I appreciate your support and I want you to have it. Certainly want you to have the book. So that being all, I thank you very much for everything that you've done, and I appreciate you and all the things that you do for us, and all the things that you're doing for Revolution. So I pray that we can do the best that we can do for you, and we're certainly going to work hard. We like to say on the end of the show, we have our brother Wahid Ali, And he says, had I not seen you on Mauricelm TV, I wouldn't know you. Your works here, you and your wife. Assalamu alaikum. Brother, thank you very much for stopping by and saying something to us. And we're thankful very much to be able to do this work. Thank you, brothers and sisters. I salute you, and I'm thankful for all the work that you've done to help us. And I say unto you, peace. Peace that goes beyond understanding. May Allah continue to watch over you, God, Jesus, whatever you want. Continue to watch over you. And I love you very much. Tell somebody else beside you that you love them. And realize we're all in the same bag, all in the same boat. We should be praying for one another. And Allah will give us the strength to continue on. Peace, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.